this woman has carried military weapons on her back, crawled on the ground, scaled sort of mountains in a way. Whenever you're scaling anything with a big heavy weapon on your back, it's like a mountain. She has seen a lot. She has been to Iraq, I think it was twice. She's also a mother of 2. And I think she might be Superwoman without the cape on. So here to tell us all about Isagenix and her life is Sadie Tolbert.
Everybody give it up to Jeannie. All right. I don't know about all that. I think sometimes when people present you like that, it feels like we have a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? Like, I'm not all that. But in reality, I served in the military for 6.5 years active duty and then about 3 years in reserve. And so I did deploy twice to Iraq. I have been through a lot. And when I look back on it, it was just normal life for me. Like, I'm a small town girl from Minnesota. I didn't feel like I had any different life than anybody else, but I made choices that not everybody typically makes. And that kind of defines me. I march to the beat of my own drum. I always have. And even today, like, I do what I want. Like, there's nobody holding me back. So sometimes I got in trouble in the military, but it was fine. So we'll backtrack a little bit to, you know, how I got involved with Isagenix. So growing up, I was never a very fit child. I didn't do a lot of sports. I was in theater. I loved food. It was my comfort. I lived in 2 different homes, and there was always delicious cereal and candy, and there was never any regulation. And so when I went to college and it didn't work out, I thought, hey, I should join the military. I can lose some weight and maybe I'll get me a man. And lo and behold, I lost 30 pounds in basic training and I met my husband a week later. So we're celebrating 15 years marriage in November.
All right.
So, end story, right? So we have 2 beautiful children, and those children caused a lot of ups and downs with my body. So I didn't have a good relationship with my body as a child. And then joining the military, being told I had to weigh a certain amount, and I had to look a certain way, and I had to run a certain distance at a certain speed, that didn't help with any of my self-confidence or self-worth. And when I, in fact, busted through our body fat measurements after I had my daughter while active duty, and I was flagged, and my promotion status was taken away, and all of my awards and accolades and all of those things were stripped from me at that time, I felt betrayed. I was 6 months postpartum, and I didn't fit what they wanted me to fit. So I left active duty to pursue nursing. So I went into nursing school, terrified I'm going to gain all this weight again. It's just going to flood in, and I'm going to gain that freshman 15, later than everybody else. So I went hardcore into CrossFit. I was the diet queen, up and down, yo-yo, everything. I even tried Isagenix back then. And it worked, and it was great. And I thought, I hit my mark. I'm going to be done. Not realizing that I didn't work on any healthy habits that were going to last. There was nothing sustainable, nothing long-term, and I didn't do a dent in my self-worth or in my self-confidence. So, going into my first job, Level 1 Trauma Center in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm taking care of traumas. We've got gunshot victims. We are busy. There are so many patients. They're in the hallway. They're in the middle of the lobby, bleeding out, all that stuff. I didn't have time to eat. And so while I'm doing CPR, I'm thinking, I haven't eaten 16 hours. Like, I hope I get to eat. I hope this person makes it so I can go and eat. I mean, really, that's kind of what it got to. But our great floor and our great, leadership there, they always had pizza and donuts in the break room. So never fear, we were fed on especially hard days. So I started to gain weight in my time there. And while I still counted macros and I still did CrossFit and I still did all these things, I was exhausted. We were trying for our second child and we were not having any luck. My husband was a drill sergeant, so we never really saw each other, which you kind of need to see each other at the time for a baby. But I was too stressed out, and so it didn't happen until we moved to Kansas. So this is duty station number 3. I decided that I'm done. I'm going to take a little bit of break from nursing. I'm not going to join a gym. I'm not going to diet. And then we got pregnant right away, which was amazing. It was like that stress finally released. And I'm a big fan of lowering stress, and we'll talk about that later. So we got pregnant, and I said, I'm building this baby on biscuits and gravy and all of the Netflix. And I did. I gained 90 pounds with my pregnancy, and I was miserable. And I walked around with a big old smile on my face because I got my baby boy, and I had a beautiful daughter, and I had this great marriage, and everything is wonderful. And I eventually started working in 2 nursing jobs. And so what did I have to be depressed about? Everything was golden, except I hated my body. So my little teaser that I gave you was exactly where I was at. I literally woke up and looked in the mirror, and I'm like, who is this? Am I ever going to get this person back? I would look at pictures of myself in the military like, that was a one-hit wonder. I'm never going to be there again.
Aww.
And so it was really a very deep hole that I was stuck in. I was working 2 nursing jobs in a clinic and part-time in an ER, and they were very toxic. And it wasn't necessarily anybody's fault, not blaming anything. It's just the name of the game in nursing. And just as we were getting ready to move here, what happened? The world turned upside down, and COVID hit. And so I just was told by my best friend about this thing, Isagenix again. And I said, I remember trying that a couple years ago. I don't know about this. You can do it. I'm going to try another crash diet. You know, we'll see how this goes. But I was spending 6 hours in the kitchen meal prepping on my 1 day off a week. And my feet hurt, my joints hurt, I was pre-diabetic, I was high cholesterol, and I mean, I was 31, 32 years old. So none of that should happen. I was looking at all of that stuff happening to my dad in his 50s, all of that stuff happening to my grandmother in her 70s, and I'm in my 30s. And I'm like, what is my life gonna look like when I'm 50 and 60? It's gonna be awful. If it's awful now, it's not gonna get any better. And so this diet was not working out. I couldn't eat anything because I had heartburn. I couldn't exercise because my hips hurt, my feet hurt, and everything else. And so I was sitting on the kitchen crying. And my kids were like, what's wrong, Mama? And I said, I'm stuck. I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. And so I called my best friend and I said, order me one of those stupid boxes and don't tell anybody. And so a couple days later it shows up, and I'm ripping it open, and I'm just not really all that excited about this, but I started putting the products in my body. And within days, I felt the fog lift. I felt energy, dig, the more that I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the community, I made friends, people were supportive. I never felt supported in my entire life. Nursing is all for one for all. Like, it's not all for one for all. It is like a free game, completely on your own. You can make some friends, but it's not like you really need each other, right? In the moment, when you're doing a CPR as a team, great. In the military, there was camaraderie, but not in the same direction. Like, you don't want to see other people succeed all the time. You just got each other's backs. This was actually, hey, Sadie, I haven't seen you comment in a couple days. Are you okay? Hey, Sadie, I saw that your grandmother passed away. Are you okay? Hey, Sadie, what are you struggling with right now? How can I help you? And I fell in love with that. And I said, that is what I'm going to be. And when we moved to California in the middle of the pandemic, stuck in a hotel for 2 months, and then getting out here and having no furniture for another 6 to 12 weeks, we got it in 2 installments. I said, I'm going to be that and prevent all of those things that I used to take care of in the clinic and in the ER. And I'm going to prevent CPR. And I'm going to prevent those insulin drips. And I'm going to prevent those high cholesterol, stupid statins, all of the other meds that I used to just dole out like freaking candy. And that is what I have made my mission. And ask me a couple years ago if I'd ever seen myself standing in front of you all talking about this stuff, and I would have been like, you're on track. Because I never saw myself doing this type of thing. But the more that I started to step into this, the more that I realized this is my passion. And not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody's going to like the model. Not everybody's going to like what I do. But I like it. And the people that are out there praying on their hands and knees like I was are going to find me, and I'm going to find them, and they're going to feel the way that I feel. So that's my story, a little bit extended version. Sometimes I shorten it up for a little, jazz here and there, depending on who I'm talking to. But I'm going to go through real quickly just some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. So after we're done eating, I'm going to give you all, anybody that wants to, a collagen shot. Collagen is our most abundant protein in our body, and we stop producing as much after the age of 25. And so this is what causes the wrinkles, this is what causes some of the hair damage, your nails not being very strong, the glue that holds you together, your fascia, all of the joint support and all of those things. And so Isagenix has found a way to mimic it in the most human-like way possible through marine collagen. This is polycatechol cod. It tastes like berry, it tastes delicious, and we don't oxidize it. So it goes into a dark glass bottle. You just twist and sip 1 or 2 a day, depending on how fast you want results. And you get to feel amazing. It works from the inside out. And I always tell people, it's just like losing weight. I want to lose it in my butt first. Well, of course, you're going to lose it in your face. I want to lose it in my arms. Well, you're going to lose it in your stomach. That's what collagen does. It goes where it needs to go, not where you want it to go. So if you're really focused on this one area, you just got to be patient. Give it a couple months. You didn't gain that overnight. You're not going to fix it overnight. Same thing with all that we do in Isagenix. You can't fix 5 years of damage in 1 month. It gives some time. You've got to really dedicate yourself to it. And it's more, what I say is Isagenix is a tool. And so you use one tool in order to fix the whole machine. If your check engine light is on, what do? You take your car and you get fixed. And sometimes it's not just one thing, it's multiple things. And you have to continue to maintain your car. Some people take better care of their car than they do their own bodies. And spoiler alert, your body is the only thing you get from birth to death. Think of that. You lose family members, you lose houses, you lose things. Like, you don't lose your body. And there's some things you can't replace. You can't replace a spine. You can't replace all of your skin. You can't replace all of the internal organs. Like, you can get a kidney transplant, but it's not going to be the same, right? So this is a tool that you can use, whether it's the collagen or our adaptogen elixir, which helps lower stress from the inside out. It helps by lowering that fight or flight that we all seem to live in. I don't know how many times people turn on the news. My parents just called me the other day. Are we going to war? Stop, settle down, turn the TV off, go take a bath, go outside and garden, drink an adaptogen elixir. Let's settle down and just focus on the things that you can control. And you can control what you put in your body. And that goes for who you let talk to you, who you let be with you, and who you let give you food. So I would love to give you guys an adaptogen elixir sample as well as a collagen elixir sample, and then answer any other questions that you guys have on any of our other tools. We have over 70 different SKUs of options. We have weight loss, we have fitness, we have anti-aging, we've got an amazing skincare line with plant stem cells, and so much more. And I am just such a raving fan. I love to help people and collaborate. And I always tell people, I'm your cheerleader. And so if you have a business, I'm going to lift you up. I'm going to be talking about you. Some of you guys don't even know how much I've talked about you. I met Jean once and I've told like 7 people about what you do. And so watch out. Probably going to be talking about you behind your back. But it's all in good ways, I promise. So if anybody else has any other questions or you want to chat, I will be available and around. Yes, Jean?
So you said you lost all this weight. Did you lose all this weight from taking the collagen and the adaptogen elixir, or what did you do?
So as I said, we have over 70 other SKUs. And so some of my main favorites that I took was a shake every day. Now some people are like, I can't drink my food. Well, that's cool. Like, make it into a smoothie bowl. Make it into a mug cake. Like, make it into a granola, chewable substance or whatever. That's what I did. But the shakes are satisfying and they are filling. So I use shakes. I use some of our cleanse, which helps detoxify naturally, and not in like a run to the bathroom all this way type thing, but in more of a let's shrink your fat cells by pulling out toxins. And you might have to pay a little bit more, but small price to pay. So that, healthy snacks, vitamins, so many different gut health like tools and things along those sides. And so I changed it up every month. The first month I did a system. The second month I picked and chose what made sense for me. The third month I did the same. And then now I'm just on a maintenance dose. Like, I take whatever I want. Some days I have a shake, some days I don't. Like, but I also order a lot because I love everything. So, great question. And we do customize it to everybody's goals. And so if somebody came to me and they're like, I don't want shakes, we have other options too. Any other questions?
I have another one.
Yes.
So there's all kinds of different collagen that I've been seeing, and most of it's in a powder form. And I noticed that even though you've only had it open for a couple of weeks, part of the top of it starts to turn darker and then clumps together. And I'm looking at it going, what's going on with you? You know, why are you doing this? And I'm not really sure if it means it's gone bad or how that's going. So could you explain that?
Yeah, so we've all cut open an apple before, and you see how the apple turns brown. That's called oxidation. And so that happens to the collagen in the powdered form. So every time you open that bucket, it's getting oxygenated. And so every time that you're scooping out, you're getting less and less of the efficacy that comes with this collagen. And collagen's kind of, it's a larger molecule in the sense that it's better ingested. So if you ever see like things that you can put collagen on topically, it's not going to permeate all the way through. And so a lot of these powders, like, first of all, they're not being tested by third party like ours is. We spend over $3 million a year getting everything tested so that everything that's in our products that's in there is actually in there. No vitamins out there are FDA regulated, but Twinkies are, as an So just keep that in mind. So our stuff we do spend on third party testing to make sure that you are getting the best of the best. And so our collagen comes in a dark glass bottle, which means that there's no oxygenation until you open it and drink it. And so we do that as well as protects it from sunlight, which is why it's in that darker bottle. And we seal it within 0.5 seconds, so you're getting the most bang for your buck. And so people who do powdered collagen, because collagen is huge right now, it's a huge buzzword, people who are using that and switch to ours have a huge change, a huge shift, because it was helping, but not in the way, it's almost like it primed the body to all of a sudden like drink this in and be like, this is what I've been waiting for. And if you think of it as a leaky bucket, we're not just pouring into that leaky bucket, we're helping to repair that bucket. It'll never be perfect because, you know, aging, we're on this earth many, many years, but it does help repair some of those leaks and things. So, great question. Yes, Carol?
I do have a question about a comment.
Yes.
Excuse me. Well, I've been on the collagen for 30 days, and it was so funny because my client yesterday on Zoom, she says, I knew there was something different about you. She thought it was my eyelashes. I said, no, I've been taking this collagen, and it's been really, really working. So it definitely works. It blows my mind how fast it has worked.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's like 4 months to really get the full effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's about the average for people to get to that maintenance dose. And then if you want to get to the point where you're just taking it every other day, you don't want to have to like do it every single day for the rest of your life, like you get to tailor it and really listen to your body. I've taken one every single day for 13 months, and I still see differences. And like I said, I have joint pain. Like I'm like an old lady in a young body. And that's from all those years in the military, jumping out of LMTVs, wearing stuff that's way too heavy for me, and not stretching and taking care of my body the way that we're supposed to. And so my joint pain has been so much better since taking this because it's just supported from the all of the connective tissue around it. And so it is something that you can keep taking forever, or if you're like, I don't like to take something every single day, it's your choice. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like, you do whatever makes sense to you. And that's where the supportive community comes in. Like, I'm not going to get down your throat if you're like, you're not doing it all the time. Like, it's your body. You get to choose. Like, I had a gentleman, like, we were on a Zoom call, and he's drinking diet soda, and he's just like, sorry, Sadie. I don't care what you do. Drink your soda. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Now, if you try to force me to drink it, I'm going to be like, no, nobody tells me what to do. But
I had a question the other day. Somebody said, oh, that sounds really good to me, but I have this big bucket of collagen, right? And I said, I don't see why you can't still keep taking it. And she asked me, can you take too much collagen?
yeah, so you can. Our cup or glass bottles are 5 milligrams, and so that is a clinical dose. Now, you can take up to like 30, but you want to be under the care of a doctor. And so what I would do is I would look at that bucket, and if that bucket is another 5, that's fine. Take a scoop in the morning so you're not wasting it, and take one of ours at night until you run out, and then you can take 2 of ours. Now, some people that have, that are healing, like if you've broken bones or like you are really working on something, you can talk to your doctor and say, can I take 15? Can I take 30, 30, whatever the case may be. But I highly recommend, as with everything, if you have any allergies, if you have anything that you're managing with the doctor or with anybody, talk to them first before trying, especially if you are concerned for any major, very specific things, like I have a very rare disorder or cancers or things like that. But our stuff is food. It's nutrients just like you would get anywhere else. And if you're not asking your doctor about, every little thing that you're buying at the store, this really isn't any different.
Well, they just always tell you it's not gonna do anything. That's all my doctor ever tells me. Oh, it's not gonna work. Chiropractor, oh, no, it's not gonna help you. That's bad for you. Acupuncture, that doesn't do anything. Collagen, it's not gonna do. Here, take this
Yeah,
pill
they don't
for
even
your
come back to them.
cholesterol.
Yeah.
That's been going down every year since I've known you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Sadie, can you take 2 of yours in a day? You can.
Yep. We just say morning and night, you know, you don't need to shotgun both at the same time, but just morning and night or whatever. And so it is a habit that you have to get used to doing.
I
So
enjoy
some
it.
people-
First thing in the morning, because I like
Yeah.
the taste so much.
Yep.
I mean, it really tastes good.
Because they taste good refrigerated, so if you're not like remembering every time you go in the fridge, like I look forward to it every day. It's like a little treat. I'm like, ooh, you gotta go to collagen. So I get excited for it. But some people, they're so busy and they're running and going. I'm like, you can throw a bunch in your bag. You can throw them at your work locker. You can throw them anywhere. They're just little bottles, and so you can put a bunch in.
But don't pour it over ice.
Yeah. Why? You don't like it with ice?
No, I thought it would dilute it.
Oh, I know people that put it in. You can put it in whatever other drink that you. If you're just like, I've had one person tell me that they didn't like the flavor, and I told them that they need to go get checked because it's delicious. And so, but you can add it to whatever you like. We have a sparkling energy drink, and so some people mix it in with that just because it's like a nice additional flavor. So, yeah.
All right. Who's excited to try these shots?
Yeah.
All right. So why don't you look around your tables and I'll help Shady get these shots together, okay? Talk amongst yourselves.